What is up, my YouTube people? I have a battle here against RamparbrosRy2017. He is a guy I battled once before, and we had a battle on my Twitch channel, so, yeah, that's about it. So this is an OU match, and as you can see, both of us bringing some pretty potent teams. It's going to be an interesting one. He's bringing Mega Venusaur. I actually am bringing Mega Charizard, and that is the X version of Mega Charizard. So kind of some Gen 1 starters as our Megas. So, yeah, he's just going to go ahead and lead with his Garchomp. I decided to lead with my Charizard, and I'm like, okay, he's going to lead with Garchomp. If it's Bulk Chomp, he's still going to take quite a lot of damage from a Charizard X's Dragon Claw, so I decided to do that. He thankfully goes to the Rock Slide, predicting Charizard Y, I guess. And, yeah, I end up living that, but he flinches, which I literally see Rock Slide flinch like maybe once every blue moon. It's like never happens. But it happened this time, and I was super pissed off about it because I was going to get some really nice damage on that Garchomp. But, oh well, I'm just going to go ahead and switch out, save it for later. The sucky part is I think he did more than 75%, so if he sets up rocks, I'm going to have to get rid of them in order to actually switch back in. So that's kind of annoying, but, oh well, what can you do? Going to go ahead and set up my own rocks as he goes into Tapu Fini. And I'm going to go ahead and switch out into my Gengar against this guy. And, yeah, he's just going to go for the Defog, which is kind of obvious. That's what part of the reason why Tapu Fini is so good and popular is its access to Defog. And probably one of the best users of Defog, since most Defog users are actually weak to Stealth Rocks. Anyway, in comes Charizard X again against his incoming Celesteela. And, yeah, he does not want to have any part of this, and that's going to give me actually an opportunity to roost, which, yeah, I do need in order to, switch back in. Actually, no, I could live a Stealth Rock hit, so it's still important to roost and get my HP back. And I decide to roost again, and I think I just kind of derped. I kind of maybe assumed this guy was Scarfed, which I probably should not have assumed, because it makes no sense. But, whatever. Yeah. He's going to go out into his Marowak now, and I'm just going to switch out as well into my Landorus. So that's going to get the Intimidate off on this guy, and he's just going to go for the Shadow Bone, which doesn't really... Well, actually, it does quite a lot, and lowers my defense. So, yeah, that really, really hurt. But he is going to go ahead and switch. He's going to force a switch. He goes out into his Rotom Wash again, and I decide to spring my Flyinium Z. Now, that's probably not the best time to spring this, since this guy resists flying. But, really one of my last chances to spring it, because I got so low on HP. So, gonna hope that this does some decent damage, although we already know that it's not Scarf. It's probably a bulky Rotom, which means it's not going to do that much after the resistance. It ends up doing around 40%, I want to say. So, not awful damage. Probably better damage than I could have done with any other move, but whatever. I'm going to try to switch out Landers, try to save him. I go into Superior. I don't think he has anything really to do to me. Worst case scenario, he just, yeah, does that and goes for the Volt Switch, which obviously he's going to switch out into Fireheart, which is his Marowak. And I really don't... I mean, I do carry actually Hidden Power Ground on this Superior, but I'm still not confident I can kill it without a boost. And in fact, I know for a fact I probably can't. He's just going to go for the knockoff as I go into my Rotom Wash, and it knocks off my leftovers, so kind of annoying for my Rotom Wash. But he's just going to go ahead and go out into his Venusaur, knowing that his Venusaur matches up very nicely against me. Best I can do is Volt Switch, which will get me the Switch advantage. And, yeah, I'm just going to go into my Charizard. So, now when he Mega Evolves, he's not actually going to be weak to Fire due to his ability Thick Fat negating the weakness of Fire, but I would still have an advantage, I feel, against Mega Venusaur, especially since... well, because I'm hit a little harder, so yeah, I'm just going to go for a Dragon Dance instead. I don't think he can really kill me. The worst thing he could do is put me to sleep with Sleep Powder or something, so, yeah, that's pretty nice for me, as I get a Dragon Dance. In fact, I get two, because he goes into Tapu Fini, and I'm not really sure Tapu Fini can do much to me. He can't, obviously, burn me. I'm a Fire type, not to mention the Fairy Aura. And I actually didn't know this at the time, or actually, rather, I did, but I just wasn't thinking about it. The Fairy Aura thingy halves Dragon moves, so I was thinking, oh yeah, I'll be able to kill for sure with Dragon Claw. Not so, because, yeah, that does half damage, which only does a little over half. It can still 2-hit KO, and he goes at a Garchomp here, and I'm like, yeah, I can definitely kill that too, because of obviously his Dragon weakness. And I was mulling it over because I knew that I would have to sack my Garchomp, but I'm gonna have a hard time switching it back in at 4 HP. So I decided just to go for it. That means I pretty much traded my Mega Charizard X for 2 of his Pokemon, which is a pretty good trade. If you take 2-for-1s every time, you end up winning. So, anyway, he's going to go into Mega Venusaur now, and the bad part about losing Mega Charizard is I really don't have a whole lot for Mega Venusaur now. He is going to go ahead and Mega Evolve. I decide to set up Stealth Rocks again, as he just kills me with Giga Drain. So at least I have those up, but obviously he can just defog them away again. It's going to be a real challenge, but I'm going to make sure, or at least I'm going to try to make sure he can't do that easily. So in comes my Gengar, and Gengar is one of the few Pokemon that I have left that I can feel kind of confident about being able to hit this guy kind of hard. At least with Sludge Bomb, and actually Shadow Ball, because it does the same. It's neutral both, but both of them should deal decent damage. I decided to go for the Shadow Ball, specifically for this Celesteela, thinking that it might switch in, and indeed it does. And he ends up having the Berry, which I've never seen on Celesteela, the Citrus Berry. But I guess that did help him because he's going to be able to live. So, yeah, I'm going to go out into my Rotom, though, and I don't think he can do much of me. The worst thing is, yeah, this Leech Seed. This is a standard Celesteela. So, yeah, he's just going to Leech Seed me, which is really the worst thing he can do. I kind of laugh at Heavy Slam due to my X4 resistance, and, yeah, I mean, he does have Protect, too, so he's going to be able to get a little bit more, and, yeah, my Volt Switch is blocked. But this Celesteela is at a really nice HP, and my Rotom's pretty low. I think he's going to probably predict a Volt Switcher, so maybe go for the Leech Seed again. So instead I decide to just go off and do a Pain Split, which, yeah, he's going to get another turn of Leech Seeds, but I damage him, and I end up getting my Rotom back to green health, so that is pretty good. So I'm going to switch out now, not even Volt Switch, because obviously he might just Protect. And I'm just going to go into my Excadrill, and I don't even remember why, other than I just needed to switch, and Excadrill can't do crap, so I'm just going to pivot here into my Superior, which also can't do crap, but I can't be Leech Seeded, which is what I was kind of expecting him to do. And indeed he does, and I'm just going to pivot right back into Rotom Wash. So yeah, like, 3 switches in a row as I go back into Rotom Wash, and I keep him off, I keep his game off. He's just going to try to Heavy Slam my Superior, and instead it's going to not do very much to Rotom. And now that I don't have Leech Seeds, there's no real incentive for him to Protect, and I'm just going to actually go for a Will-O-Wisp, which would have been really actually nice, even though that this Venusaur is special in nature. The residual damage on it would have actually been kind of nice. So I'm really kind of mad that missed, because let's take a look here. I'm just going to go into Gengar to take his move pretty well, and I go for a Sludge Bomb, and that damage is pretty nice. Now, think about it. If he had that burn last turn, he would have taken 2 burn hits. That's 1/8 his HP, and I still have Leech Seeds up, so it would have actually put that Venusaur in position, I think, that it couldn't switch back in, which really obviously would have benefited me. And he is going to be very, very gutsy here, going out into Tapu Fini. I was so close to hitting Sludge Bomb, but the last minute I was like, oh man, he might go into Celesteela, but I should go Sludge Bomb just in case it goes into Fini. Well, that sucks, because I'm going to die to my own Life Orb. The good thing is, though, is I can get a free switch here into my Superior, which obviously can hit him really hard with this super effective move. And obviously, he apparently just tries to stay in, hoping that I'd ever predict or something. He really wanted to get that defog off, but I'm not going to let him. So, and now he can never do it, because it's dead. Anyway, in comes Celesteela again. He's going to Heavy Slam. He kind of thinks I'm going to stay in, I guess, since I already have +2 special attack. He probably doesn't realize that I don't carry Hidden Power Fire on mine. If I had Hidden Power Fire, I think I might be able to just kill the Celesteela. He's really lucky I didn't. Unfortunately for me, I completely derped there. Once again, forgetting about the freaking Fairy Aura. Second time this match. And, yeah, that's just going to, obviously, not do anything. If I would have gotten a burn at some point, this would be a dead Venusaur, because it survives with silver HP, and unfortunately, he's going to be able to get a Synthesis off. So, really mad about the first Will-O-Wisp. The second one wouldn't have hit anyway, but, because of my own stupidity. Oh well, in comes Celesteela again, and yeah, that's a pretty good play since I have Excadrill out and my Earthquake's going to do absolutely nothing. And I do have to switch because I'm locked into it. I am a Scarf Excadrill. I'm just going to go into Superior. I don't think he's going to expect it. Indeed, he tries to go for the lead sheet, predicting Rotom. So I'm actually predicting pretty nice right now. Although I end up missing with my Leaf Storm, as he just goes for another Leech Seed, once again predicting the Rotom pivot, and then I decide to go into Rotom as he Heavy Slams. So getting all of the predictions right is me, and I have to feel pretty good about that despite my complete derp when it comes to the, what is it, the fairy terrain, or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I go for a Will-O-Wisp again here. It's going to end up connecting on his Rotom Wash, which is all it's going to do is really negate his leftovers, so not really a thing that I particularly care about, but my Superior pretty much, just laughs at his Rotom. So, yeah, I'm just going to go into my Superior. I don't really think there's a whole lot he can do. And indeed, he does try to go for the Will-O-Wisp, which I guess is going to do some residual damage on Superior, which is actually kind of relevant because the only way Superior has to regain health is Giga Drain, which I'm not really going to have an opportunity to set up or do in this match because of his Celesteela. But, yeah, I decide just to go for the Leaf Storm again. His Celesteela is starting to get kind of weak. And in it comes again, taking yet another hit of Stealth Rocks as I go for the Leaf Storm. Now, he does X4 resist it, but I'm hoping that it can do okay damage, and it really does nothing. But after a special attack boost, maybe it can do okay damage. I decide to stay in and just do it, man. I'm going to try to get this guy out. I know he really can't recover his health, and I don't quite kill the Celesteela. However, he does go for the Heavy Slam, which will kill my Superior, but at this point, he is dead, because he has a sliver of health, so he can't heal anymore. Well, he can't switch out, because he can't come in, because of the Stealth Rocks. And, yeah, obviously I'm going to be able to outspeed the Rotom and just kill him, and I just go for a Volt Switch, which is going to tank out the Celesteela. And just going to go into my Excadrill, which I'm pretty confident at this point can actually get this late-game sweep here. His last Pokemon are this Venusaur, which is going to come in at less HP thanks to Stealth Rocks, and his Rotom Wash, which does not actually have the immunity against Earthquake against my Excadrill due to Mold Breaker. So, as you can see, I'm able to get that KO with Earthquake, thankfully. And in comes Rotom Wash, who is weak to Earthquake, and that is GG, my friend. Really excellent game. Kind of proud about how I played against that Celesteela. Not quite the attempt to burn the Venusaur in the fairy terrain. But yeah, it's definitely a great match. So we have to do one again sometime soon, Rampar Bros. And today's question of the day is, what is your favorite Pokemon terrain? Now, I asked this question really close to the beginning of Gen 7, but now that we've had the meta settled down a little bit, and we've all have months of experience in Gen 7. Plus, I think the first time I asked this, it was before Pokebank came out, so we're just dealing with Gen 7 stuff. So yeah, leave a comment about that. And what's your favorite terrain to use? Obviously, they're really OU centric, since most of the time you don't use the actual move, you use the Tapu associated with that move. The more I use the Tapus, I have to say that the grassy terrain feels pretty legit to me. I really do like the effects that it has, especially about healing Pokemon, and having of ground moves can be certainly useful against a lot of common OU Pokemon. Obviously, they're all good in certain ways, and honestly, I tend to forget what their effects are half the time, or forget about an effect. Not necessarily, like, if I was to think about it, oh yeah, I bet yeah, that's what the terrain does, and I know that, but, think, at the time of the battle, sometimes it's pretty easy to forget, at least for me, in the heat of the battle. So leave a comment about that, and see you guys again next time. Later, y'all.